Hello students, welcome to a lesson through the virtual training center of the Brihan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika. My name is Shraddha teacher, and in this lockdown period, since we are not able to go to school children, we will be doing many lessons here online through the virtual class. So come on, let's proceed to our lesson for today.
Come on children, let's learn a new lesson in standard 10th, subject English, and the lesson that we are going to learn today is a beautiful poem by the name of The Height of the Ridiculous. Now children, this is lesson number 4.4 in your English textbook. Now first we will try and understand what all things we're going to learn in this poem. So when I say the word ridiculous, we will try to look at the meaning of ridiculous. And in the name of the lesson, we also have an English idiom, and that is the height of. So we will first analyze what the meaning of the title of the poem is. And then we will move on and we will do certain exercises from the warming up part. We will read the poem together. I will try and explain the meaning of the lines as well as the meaning of the new and difficult words here. And then we will go to certain exercises in the English workshop part. Along the way children, in the warming up part, we also have a very interesting exercise based on sounds in English. That is, we will learn what the meaning of syllables are. We will learn how to identify words with one syllable, two syllables, three syllables, etc. So this is a very interesting, you can say, exercise based on sounds in English in this particular lesson. So we're going to do all of them and we're going to have a lot of fun while doing this lesson. Now let's see why we're going to have fun, because we're going to first start with understanding the meaning of this word ridiculous. So what does ridiculous mean? Now I have two emojis here for you. So when you look at these two emojis, I think you will be able to guess the meaning of the word ridiculous. So the word ridiculous has got something to do with laughter, it has got something to do with joy, it has got something to do with fun. So ridiculous means actually something which is comical, which is funny, which is absurd, humorous, etc. You can add many more meanings to this word here. Okay, but I have picked up these four meanings. So one is comical, you can say it is funny, you can say it is absurd, and you can also say it is humorous. So when you talk about poetry, when you talk about different kind of poems, there are some poems which are serious in nature. Okay, there are some poems which are about, you can say, feelings, and there are some poems which are humorous poems. That is, they are funny poems. When you read them, you feel like laughing. So this particular poem, The Height of Ridiculous, you know now why it will make you laugh, because it is a very funny, humorous poem. Now, like I told you, in the title or in the name of this poem, there is also an idiom in English. So come on, let's look at the meaning of this idiom. So what is the definition of the idiom the height of? Okay, so the height of means this particular idiom is used to say something that is an extreme example of something. Okay, you want to say that someone is lazy. So someone could be just lazy, or in some case it could be the height of laziness. So when it is the height of laziness, it means there is no one else who's as lazy as this person in that particular situation. Okay, so when you want to give an extreme example of something, then you use this particular idiom in English, that is the height of. Okay, come on, let's look at some more examples here. So it was the height of stupidity to quit the team. So I don't know which team, it could be a cricket team, it could be a football team, it could be a hockey team. But remember, to become part of a team, it is very, you can say, difficult job. You have to do a lot of practice, you have to put in a lot of hard work before you are selected to be part of a team. And then when you quit it, when you leave the team just like that, that is the height of stupidity. You couldn't do something more stupid than this. Alright, let's look at one more example. Long skirts are now the height of fashion. Means there is nothing which is more fashionable than wearing a long skirt. So the height of fashion is what? Long skirts. And see, look at the word now. Okay, now means fashion keeps on changing. So right now, long skirts are the height of fashion. Now children, we are living in this digital age, isn't it? See, I am also teaching you online and you're learning this lesson online. So now we are in the digital age. So let us look at an example where we will be able to see the height of digitalization. See, isn't it very funny? So someone is praying to God and telling him, "Oh God, please save me." Save me in the sense, please save my life. Okay, please see to it that I am well. But look at the height of digitalization. What is God saying? Should I save you as JPG or as a PDF? So should you be saved in the picture form or in the printable document form? So see, that is the height of digitalization. Even God has become digital. So this is the meaning of the idiom, the height of. So now in this particular poem, we are going to talk about the height of the ridiculous. That means there could be nothing which is more funny than this particular poem that we are going to learn now. Having said this, now we always look at certain exercises which are there in our warming up part. So let's come to the exercise from the warming up part, which is asking us to give words which are related to humorous. Now we saw certain words related to humorous. We saw comical, we saw funny. Let us look at some more words which are related to humorous, or we can say which are synonyms of the word humorous. Now look at this image also. This image is also so humorous, isn't it? He's got just one eye, and that also a starfish is covering his vision. So he won't be able to see anything now. Okay, so let us look at some words. So hilarious is a word which you can replace with humorous. So hilarious means very funny. So the movie has some hilarious scenes. So see, this is an exercise actually in vocabulary where we are getting to learn so many new words. Then you have witty. Witty is also a word which means humorous. Look at the example sentence. Peter is a witty comedian. Then you have amusing. He found the whole incident rather amusing. Amusing means funny, humorous, witty, hilarious. Okay. Next example, next word, comical. So this word we already saw there. So comical means what? Funny, something which makes you laugh. Then we have again one more word. We have light-hearted. Light-hearted means nothing very serious, nothing very difficult to understand, but something which will make you laugh, which will make you happy. And then finally we have one more word, side splitting. So side splitting means extremely funny. So he told some side splitting jokes. So the height of funniness is side splitting. Okay, so these are all the words which are related to humorous. Okay, you can, if you look at the dictionary. Now let us extend this vocabulary exercise a little bit more. So I have already given you around 7 to 8 meanings or synonyms of the word humorous. Let's see how many words you will be able to find on your own apart from these words. So this is an extended exercise in vocabulary for you. Let's move on, and I told you we have a very interesting exercise based on sounds of words in this particular poem. So let us look at this particular exercise and what is the exercise telling you? It will tell you about syllables. So let us try and understand what the meaning of a syllable is. So what is a syllable? So what is a syllable? A syllable is a group of letters that has one vowel sound. So now what is a vowel sound? The vowel sound is the sound of the letters A, E, I, O, U, which are vowels. Okay? Out of the 26 letters in the English alphabet, we have A, E, I, O, U, which are the vowels, and the remaining are the consonant sounds. Now, vowel sounds are those sounds which you say with an open mouth when there is no obstruction of air. Your teeth, your lips, your tongue doesn't come in the way when you make the sounds of vowels. So A, E, I, O, U. See, you make these sounds with an open mouth. Okay, so these are the vowel sounds. Now, a syllable can be a word or it can be a part of a word also. So a vowel sound is a syllable that we have understood. A syllable can be one word or it can be a part of a word. For example, see, sun. So this is one syllable. So it is one full word. So the whole word is a syllable, you can say. Dog. Okay. Then you have lee, like in friendly. When you say friendly, so that lee sound is one syllable, because there is a E in the lee sound. Then you have IP, ip, OT, ot. So these are all syllables. So a syllable can be one single word, like for example in the sun, you have the a sound which is a syllable. In dog, you have the o sound which is the syllable. Now children, when we are talking about vowel sounds, we know and we have just discussed that there are 5 vowels in the English language. A, E, I, O, U. But remember, vowel sounds are much more than these 5 sounds. Okay? It is very interesting. It is a little tricky also to understand, and you have to read it more than once to remember these things. Okay? And we do not have to go into great detail, but I thought that you will find this part of the exercise interesting. So let me show you something here. See, the vowel is A, but you can have 2 or more than 2 different sounds with A. I will not go into all the vowel sounds, just as an example you will understand. So sometimes the same vowel can have different sounds. For example, see, in apple we say A for the A, whereas in ape we say A for the A. Is it clear? So in apple it is A, and in ape it is A. In egg it is A. Okay? But in eat it is E. So it is the same vowel, same letter, having different sounds. Alright? Look at I now. I. So igloo. So in igloo it is I. In ice it is I. So this is what I wanted to say, that vowel sounds, even though there are 5 vowels, there are 14 vowel sounds. 14, some people say 15. So American English and British English is a little different. So 14, 15 are the number of vowel sounds, they say. Okay? Some even say that there are 20 vowel sounds. English has got 20 vowel sounds, short vowels, long vowels, etc. So in short, what I want to tell you is, even though there are only 5 vowels, there are more than 5 vowel sounds. So you have the same letter with different sounds. So we saw igloo. Now let's look at O. So octopus, oatmeal. See how the sound of the O is different. Umbrella, unicorn. Okay? So one letter can have different sounds, and interestingly, different letters sometimes can also have similar sounds. For example, see here, car, C-A-R, car. Bus, so see the R sound is almost the same. Ball, dog, but in one place you have the A, in the other place you have the O. When you're saying car, you have A. When you're saying bus, you have U. Isn't it? See, read, you have EA. Pig, you have I. So that means, just like one letter can have different sounds, different letters can also have the same sound. Alright, this is just for your information. So look at it and enjoy the knowledge that I am giving you. Do not remember it, or do not try to stress yourself over remembering this. We are doing all this just because we are going to read and talk about vowels, which is an exercise in our textbook. Coming back to the exercise in our textbook, after finishing off the small information, let us look at certain one syllable words, because in our textbook we have an exercise where we are supposed to identify the syllables and mark them and say whether their word has got one syllable or two syllables, etc. So let us look at certain one syllable words. So look at all these words, you will see most of them have got just one vowel in them. So first word, let us take hop. So you have the O sound, the sound of the O. Jug, you have the sound of the U, jug. Third one, fat, F-A-T, fat. So you have the A sound of the letter A. Let, so you have the sound of the letter E as A, let. Then you have win, where you have the I sound, E, win. Then you have slip, okay, so the I sound again. In the same way, you can read all the other words here. So you have tent, you have vest, you have plug, slug, clam, mask, plan, cub, and try to identify where the vowel sounds can be heard. Okay, so these are certain one syllable words. Let us look at two syllable words now. So you have spider, which you can cut up into two syllables, and you can say spy, der. So see the sound of the I and the sound of the spy, der. Window, the sound of the I and the sound of the O. Then you have till. Okay, so these are certain two syllable words. Let us look at some more two syllable words. See here, running, ra-ing, bunny, ba-ni. But if you pay attention to this part of the syllable, there is no vowel here, okay, but there is a vowel sound, remember. Then you have little, little, okay. So English is really funny. When you say N and Y, there is no vowel there, but there is a vowel sound there. Pizza, so the E is the A. Yellow, A-O, yellow. So read the other words like I'm reading them. See, I have put a line in the middle, in the center, so you know how to take the two syllables apart. So hot, apple, puppy, happy, kitten. Okay, this is how we come to the two syllable words. Let us see certain three syllable words now. So you have abdomen, abdomen, three syllables. Then you have Atlanta, Atlantic. Okay, so I, three syllable sounds, three vowel sounds, so three syllables. What about these? Try and figure out. Vacancy. See again, in the C and Y, there are no vowels, but there is a vowel sound. So that is why we take it as a syllable. Next example, disposal. So I or disposal. Okay, so this is how you identify the vowel sounds, and this is how you break up the word into syllables. Now let's come to the exercise that we have in the textbook. So you're supposed to pick up the words in the box and you're supposed to write it in the correct columns. So we have just looked at one syllable words and two syllable words and three syllable words here, children. There are 4, 5, etc., but we will not look at them now. So we have to focus not on the spellings but on the pronunciation of the words. Like I told you, there could be no vowel, but there could be a vowel sound. So you're supposed to focus on the pronunciation and not on the spellings. Okay, So let's take the words one by one. I will not be doing all of them for you, remember. I will be doing just some as a sort of an example, and the remaining you're supposed to do it yourself. So jump, jump. So how many vowels can you hear there? And how many syllables will we fix it at then? Yes, it has got one syllable. One vowel, one syllable. But it doesn't mean that where there is one vowel, there will be always one syllable, okay? Then you have narrow. See, the way you say the word itself, you will come to know how many syllables are there if you say the word correctly. So narrow. So you have a and o. That means you have two syllables. So narrow comes in this column. Cable. So we have two syllables again in cable. And then you have live. Live goes in one syllable. Queen also goes into the one syllable column. Then you have butter. So you have a here. So butter goes under the two syllable column. Now the remaining is for you to do. Calmly, quietly say the word and figure out how many syllables are there. For example, tree. See, there are two vowels you can see there. Does it mean there are two vowel sounds? Does it mean there are two syllables? Think about it. Okay, and then try to put it into the right column. So this was a very, very interesting exercise, children, based on vowels, based on vowel sounds, etc. So this, as you keep on learning it, your knowledge will increase. This is not something which you can just read and understand in one particular day. Okay, moving on, let's go to the next exercise here. So you're supposed to count the syllables and you're supposed to circle the appropriate number in the box. So see, elephant. So you have a, you have a, and you have a. Elephant. So how many syllables finally? 3. Okay. What about mirror? Mirror. So you have 2 here. Bus, you have just 1. Kangaroo. Kangaroo. How many do you have? A, G, U. So you have 3. Okay. So the remaining ones are for you to do. So try to figure out how many syllables are there and try to circle or try to put a box around the number. Moving on, let's come to the next exercise. So you're supposed to write the names of your friends and you're supposed to mention the name of the syllables. So let me write the first name of one of my friends, and that is Anita. And Anita has got 3 syllables. So if you count, it has got 3 vowels as well. Let us find out how it is done. So see, I can write Anita like this. A, I, ta. So there is a, ni, ta. So there are 3 syllables, isn't it? Next name, Raju. See, Ra, Ju. So there are 2 syllables. Alright. Now you're supposed to write the names of 5 of your friends. So come on, think of the names of 5 of your closest friends and figure out how many syllables are there in their names. Okay? Moving on now, let us go to the main part of the lesson where we will be reading the poem and then we will be trying to understand the meaning of the poem and also the meaning of the difficult words in the poem. So the height of the ridiculous. Now we know what the meaning of ridiculous is. We know what the meaning of the height is. So let's try and understand what the poet wants to say when he's saying the poem, when he's writing the poem. So I wrote some lines once on a time. Usually we say once upon a time, but here the poet has said once on a time, meaning is the same. In wondrous merry mood, and thought, as usual, men would say, they were exceeding good. Now here also, instead of exceeding, we usually write exceedingly good. but see, there are certain liberties, or there are certain you can say freedom that the poets can take. Okay, so it doesn't matter if the word is a little bit grammatically wrong here and there, but poets can use this kind of language. That is called as poetic liberty. So the poet has written some words when he was very happy, and he thought that as usual when he gives it to people to read, they will say, Ariva, it is very good. They were so queer, so very queer. Queer here means strange, different from the normal. Okay, so he's saying they were so queer, so very queer, I laughed as I would die. Okay, he's saying I laughed so much when I read my own poem that I thought I will die now. Albeit in a general way. Albeit means here even though, or but in a general way. A sober man am I. So I'm a sober person. Sober means I am a level-headed person. I am a down-to-earth person. I am a serious person. So I do not usually laugh and make fun of unnecessarily. But even then, the lines which the poet has written is so queer that he thought that he is going to die when he read the lines. I called my servant and he came. How kind it was of him to mind a slender man like me, he of the mighty limb. He of the mighty limb means he was a very strong person physically. But in spite of me calling him, he would have come anyways because he is the servant. He has to obey the master. But he's saying, in spite of him being so strong, I called him and he immediately came to me and I asked him to read my poem. These to the printer I exclaimed, and in my humorous way I added as a trifling jest. So trifling jest here means small joke. There'll be the devil to pay. So he said, these papers have to be taken to the printer, and there will be a devil to pay means it will be a big price to pay, because it is going to be a very, very big joke reading this. People are going to be very amused reading this. Now look at what the servant does. He took the paper and I watched and saw him peep within. So see, this is a paper. Okay. Now the paper is a two-dimensional figure. You can peep into things which are three-dimensional, which has got a height. You can peep into a vessel, you can peep into a drum, but you cannot peep into a paper. At the first line he read, his face was all upon the grin. So, when he read the first line, he looked into the paper, and when he started reading the poem, he read the first line and he started smiling. He started grinning means his face broke into a grin means he started smiling. He read the next and the grin grew broad and shot from ear to ear. So the grin grows broad means the smile becomes bigger. He read the third, a chuckling noise I now began to hear. So when he read the third, he started making a noise, he started laughing, he started chuckling. Chuckling means a kind of laughing sound. The fourth, he broke into a roar. So when he broke into a roar means he started laughing loudly. The fifth, his waistband split. Now this is, the height of something being funny. That is, you laugh so hard that your waistband or the pant that you're wearing or the belt that you're wearing, it bursts open. The sixth, he burst 5 buttons off and tumbled in a fit. So you can see how he is rolling on the ground laughing now. It is as if he's suffering from a, you can say, bout of fit. Okay, so that is how his poem is. So funny. So see how line by line the funniness is increasing, the fun is increasing. So in the first line, he was just grinning, then the grin grew broader, then there was a chuckling noise, and then there was a roar, and the waistband was splitting then finally, and the buttons of his pants were also bursting. So that is how funny the poem was. 10 days and sleepless nights with sleepless eye. 10 days and nights with sleepless eye. So see, he's saying this man went on laughing for 10 days continuously. I watched that wretched man. Wretched means poor man, helpless man. He was, can you imagine someone laughing for 10 days at a stretch? 10 days, 10 nights, you're laughing and laughing and laughing. Can that happen? Very rare, isn't it? So, poets can say such kind of things also, which might not never happen in real life. And since I never dare to write as funny as I can. So, after that particular poem, he's never written another poem which is funny. So, for him, that particular poem is the height of the ridiculous. Nothing can be more funny than that particular poem that he has written. Okay, nothing can be funnier than the poem which he has written. So this is a poem by Oliver Wendell Holmes. So see, this is the person, Oliver Wendell Holmes. Now he was an American physician and he was also a poet and he was based in Boston. So this is a little bit information about our poet. Okay, so this is the poem, children, The Height of the Ridiculous. So I hope you enjoyed the poem and you really found it funny. Now let us move on and let us do certain exercises. Like always, I will just start the exercise. I will do a few examples and the remaining you have to do it yourself. So form pairs. Now you cannot form pairs right now because you're not in a situation where you're going to school. Okay, so what you can do is you can take the help of your brother, your sister, your mummy, etc. So form pairs and find out the various rhyming words in the poem and two of your own. Complete the following table. So ear. So ear is a word. So what will be the rhyming word from the poem? It is queer. Okay, see, ear rhymes with queer. So that is a rhyming word. The last sounds are the same. More of your own. Let me give you one of your own. So it is fear. So ear, queer, fear. Find out more. Then you have within. So in the poem it is a grin. Within, grin, and then you have fin. Okay, so these are some examples which I am giving you. The remaining you have to find out yourself. Then you have man. From the poem it is can, and you can write span. Then you have split. So from the poem you have the rhyming word fit, and your own you can write lit. And the remaining four are for you to do. So this is one more assignment from this poem for you. This is again, children, an example of a vocabulary exercise. An exercise where you are playing with words or you're practicing the use of words. Moving on, now we have an exercise on figures of speech. So there are certain figures of speech here that you can see and certain lines which might be examples of these figures of speech. So let us try to match them correctly. So in wondrous, merry mood. So wondrous and merry, they have the same meaning. So when I'm saying wondrous also it means happy. When I'm saying merry also it means happy. So the poet has used two words to describe the same thing in a line. So it is an example of tautology. They were so queer, so very queer. So it is an example of a repetition. Why? Simply because the words queer and queer have been repeated. And saw him peep within. So like I told you, he peeped within the paper. Is that possible? It is not possible. It is an overstatement. So it is an example of hyperbole. Okay? You can look at a paper. You cannot peep within a paper. The grin grew broad is an example of alliteration. The sound of the letter G in the words grin and grew have been repeated. And shot from year to year. Yet another example of repetition where the word year has been repeated. He broke into a roar. Now whenever there is a sound related line, it is always an example of the figure of speech onomatopoeia. So it is onomatopoeia. And last one, transferred epithet means the quality of one thing is transferred to another thing. 10 days and nights with sleepless eye. So the I is never sleepless, the person is sleepless. So the quality of the person has been transferred to the I. So it is an example of a transferred epithet. Okay. So now we come to the last exercise in this particular poem. Complete the lines of the poem by choosing proper pair of rhyming words and make it meaningful. So you have to choose the rhyming words from the bracket given below and you have to try to make this poem meaningful. So pause the video and try to find out the answers yourself. Let us see whether you are able to do it. So come on, let's check now the answers. We returned home late one night. In the window there glowed a light. Burglars was our first thought. Burglars means thieves. For defense, sticks and stones we sought. Means we started looking for sticks and stones. Let's grab the loot and run was uttered soft by someone. So now they not only saw the light and they started speculating that there might be thieves in the house, but they also imagined that they are hearing someone saying, come on, let's grab the loot and let us run. The door we softly unlocked, and then we were truly shocked. Oops, before outside we'd gone, the television had been left on. So you see how your mind can play jokes with you. So you had left the television on before going out of the house, but then you were imagining that there's someone in the house and we were gathering sticks and stones, and we also imagined that we've heard someone saying, come on, let's loot the house and let us run. Okay, so this is also a very, very funny poem. So today's lesson, children, was a rather long one, but we have completed lesson number 4.4 at one go in this lesson. We talked about the poem, okay, and we talked about certain exercises based on syllable. We read the poem, we tried to understand the meaning of the poem, and also we did a lot of exercises in the English workshop part. So that is all for today.
So children, wasn't that a wonderful video? And did you enjoy watching it? So if you want to watch more such videos in future, then please like this video and also subscribe to our channel, the MCGM Portal for Education, and also hit the bell button so that you get notified whenever I upload a new video here. Thank you so much for now. Let's meet again soon.